Hey, welcome back. It's Food News and Choose Radio. Hello, everybody. Chef
Hello,
Jeremy,
how you
Sylvia,
doing?
Norma.
How
Everybody
you
doing good?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good. We got a lot to talk about today.
We
We're going to
do.
talk to, in the second half of the show, Tim from Boonedogs.
My mouth is watering already.
We're going to talk about hot dogs.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
it's summer and hot dogs and grilling, and hot dogs are just the food of the summer.
Yeah, well, we're going to start out, though. Norma brought in some to tempt us. Ruth Hunt candies. Now, that woman, I don't know what we're going to do with her. Chocolate-covered grapes.
Chocolate grapes are
And
amazing.
I mean, they are so delicious.
You know, everyone eats chocolate-covered strawberries, and they, for some reason, have become... And they're good, don't get me wrong.
But there's lots of things you can cover with chocolate.
Yeah, I do think grapes are the superior fruit to cover in chocolate. Oh, that's
God
great.
bless you. I love it. I love it. And I've already had one. So, and I
No, I want one.
They are so good.
What I find about the chocolate-covered fruits, especially when you get them at like Ruth Hunt because they're made here and fresh, is actually how long they actually last.
Yeah.
You'd think you might get a day or two on those, and you get longer, but also it's kind of transformative what happens inside because the sugar from the chocolate starts to kind of macerate the fruit. And if you notice, it's kind of darker and
It kind of
sweeter,
comes
and
together.
it'll kind of make it better.
Oh, that's so good.
Also,
and
you get the snap of the skin.
this is an interesting thing too. The chocolate industry, like chocolate covered chips, are like to die for. I mean, you didn't used to have all of that. You just had, chips or you had chocolate. But now you have the combination.
Well, I guess for a long time, we kind of thought of sweet things as sweet and savory things as savory. And you realize that when you kind of make savory things sweet, it's better than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, salt and sugar is, every secret weapon when you want things to taste good, right?
But anyway, we thank Norma for her generosity and hate her at the same time because she's always doing things like this, like bringing in candy corn in the fall, and she's just
Keep
an
in mind,
all-around
too,
talent.
Tomorrow is Mother's Day. So tomorrow's
Yes.
Mother's Day. So make sure you get Mom loves candy, Mom loves chocolate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like one of the number one things, that people get for Mom. You see the candy displays, but Ruth Hunt is the place to go.
I think in general, I see that they say that people who spend money on experiences and food are happier than people who spend money on tangible items to keep. And I think there's a certain...
That's a trend.
There's
yeah,
a truth
it's
to that. Because I don't want things in my house. I don't want a house full of things.
I don't need more stuff. I'm a minimalist.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy something and just move
That's
on to
right.
the next thing.
That's right. Chef, I know we want to get to hot dogs and get some into the science of hot dogs, but what do you serve? What's your, like if you're thinking of Mother's Day, and I know you're full, but tell us what would be like a dish, because Dad likes steak, but what does Mom like? What do you try to cater?
Well, I think that's all a matter of opinion, but when I think about moms and my mom and stuff like that, I kind of go two directions. One is a little bit stick to your ribs, but on the other hand, what I mostly go to is kind of a little bit on the lighter touch, and I specifically think crab cakes. I don't really know why, but it seems like a lot of the ladies that come in for brunch right now really like the crab cake Benedict. I think that's just a solid, hearty lunch or brunch that you can have that, it feels brunchy. I mean, it's a Benedict, right?
There's nothing better. There's no more perfect food than a crab cake with an egg on top and some hollandaise. It's amazing.
But it doesn't put you down for the day. You can still stay a little bit lighter on your toes and not be grogged down for the entire day.
Are you going to have that on the menu for?
Yeah, crab cake Benedicts are always on. But I also kind of think, kind of a quiche special or a light omelet. So we'll be doing a spring quiche with lots of, like fresh peas and basil and asparagus and, lovely spring vegetables. That's kind of what we go for. Leeks, potato in there as well. And then we'll do some kind of lovely omelet for Mom. Typically kind of keep that seafood too. Sometimes we'll do a shrimp and sausage, but this time I think we're going to do a little lobster omelet and put some asparagus in there, then nice hollandaise on top, and maybe a little bit more crab on there for Mom too. So lots of nice stuff. But I kind of keep it on the lighter side. Whereas Father's Day, I'm going after ribeyes and like cheesy scallop potatoes and that kind of dude food.
Heavier stuff. Yeah. Heavier stuff.
As a mother, as someone who had kids of all ages and grandkids now, Mother's Day breakfast, do you like the idea of the kids cooking it for you and bringing it to you in bed? or would you rather?
I can answer that without you even finishing.
Exactly. I think most moms.
Take me out.
Yeah. Take mom out
Take
or
me out.
order food in from somewhere, but don't dirty up the kitchen.
Because guess why? Mom has to clean the kitchen.
Exactly. And it's well intentioned. It is well
It is.
intentioned.
And I suppose, the textbook answer is, oh, those little darlings, I want them to do this for me. But no, I seriously would. But then, see, I eat out so much anyway. I mean, there probably are more sensible mothers to ask us
If you
questions
see an
of.
average dad and 3 kids make pancakes,
It's a mess.
it's a mess.
It's a mess.
If your dad's not a chef, it's a mess.
Yeah, and then
Take
you have
mom
to clean
out.
up afterwards.
Take
Take
mom
mom
out.
out. Take me out.
Take her out.
Yeah, guys, it's the busiest restaurant day
Unless
of
you
the
have
year.
Jeremy cooking for you like his mom probably does.
Well,
No,
yeah.
you'll probably be in the kitchen.
I'll be in the kitchen. Yeah.
Wait, is it really the busiest restaurant day of the year?
Day. I mean, it's you have New Year's Eve and things like that, which are crazy
But the
busy.
day
But
part,
the Mother's Day goes from the time you open, time you close, and guys, I guess it's just kind of part of the culture. A lot of people don't make reservations, and it's a family oriented thing. If mom's not cooking, then
And it's probably big
it's not 4
parties,
people. It's
yeah.
like all 10,
Yeah,
are coming.
yeah.
So it's a big party. It's hard to get reservations.
And
As my wife
you don't
says-
have any openings, right? Are you pretty full?
I've got some dinner reservations
Okay.
currently, but brunch
Okay.
is toast.
As my wife says, you can tell when a man's planned something.
Yeah.
And if you don't make reservations and you just walk in with 10 people on Mother's
That's like-
Day and expect you're going to get in, I guarantee that was a guy's idea.
Yeah.
my wife would
Or Valentine's Day. It's only 2 people, but
The Valentine's one,
Plan.
those are kind of cute because we always get kind of the same call on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's, 2 days out, and
Yeah.
we'll get the call like, hey, I was just calling to see if you have any reservations, on February 14th.
Nothing picky, just
around
7 o'clock.
7
Yeah,
o'clock.
yeah,
You're like,
uh-huh.
"Well, February 14th? Oh, you mean Valentine's Day? You're like, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Need a table for 8 on Valentine's Day.
I love
Probably
that.
7 o'clock.
the other thing that I think that is noticeable in restaurant world is the closure of McGee's 67-year-old business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the staffing issues, I guess, and I don't know if that's improved generally. I think it kind of has, but in individual situations, maybe not.
I think it really is individual situations at this point, but I know the restaurant worker pool is still very, very low.
Slim.
So I can't really tell what's happening in turnover. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interest in entering the industry.
Well, don't you think people found other things to do, like the delivery businesses just exploded, like UPS, and in my legal help center, I hear all kinds of people in recovery saying they're getting jobs with the delivery services. They are hiring a lot,
Yeah.
so they can do that, and I think that sprung up. That was an industry that soaked up a lot of our available.
Also, I
people.
don't know this for a fact, but I'm just guessing, just based on a hunch, that it's doubly hard to find people to work in the bakery industry because not only is it food service, but you got to get up very
Hours,
early.
the hours.
It's baker's hours.
Those are odd hours.
and that's probably hard to find,
That probably
especially
is
younger
harder.
people who are willing to do that.
yeah, baker would be kind of a unicorn out there, I think.
Yeah.
That's a very
Although
specific
I
job.
have heard sort of on, and I'm not going to mention names, but there's been some other upheavals in the kitchen. It's usually the kitchen.
Yeah.
And dishwashing and things like that are hard to fill.
Well, I think it's hard in general to find people to take what we consider entry-level jobs now.
Well, they're finding entry level at UPS. and
That
places
are
like that.
easier and
Yeah.
pay more.
And pay more.
that are less physically demanding.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So
It's-
anyway, but let's talk about hot dogs.
All right.
You said you
Boondogs.
tried to.
I tried to
make
make so
them.
Boondocks is
You are
coming in second
amazing.
half of the show, and I think we all look at hot dogs as very simple food. But if you've ever tried to make a hot dog from scratch, it's tough. It's one of the only things I gave up on in
Tell
the
us
kitchen.
about it.
Well, so you have to grind meat. All right. So check my
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Grind meat. All right.
Yeah.
Then you got to find a sausage extruder. Then you got to grind the meat once, grind it twice, and then you have to emulsify it.
Right.
And that's done in a mixer. You generally have to put ice in it to keep the meat from cooking while it's emulsifying because you want the fats and the proteins to kind of bond in a way that most food doesn't. And then you got to put it in a casing,
lot of
and then
trouble.
generally you got to smoke it. You at minimum gotta slow cook it to get it to a point where you can preserve it. It's a lot of work.
Tons, and that's the process. I mean, there's really no shortcuts to that. I'd say, the second grind could be eliminated and the mixer if you just go straight to a food processor from the first grind, like a high-powered one, though. You need a Roboku or a Cuisinart.
Have you ever tried to make a hot dog?
Oh, yeah, and I find that this is the spices are not hard. This is not a hard thing to flavor the right way, but the fat and emulsification is very difficult to get the texture right because a hot dog is snappy on the outside, but it has a sponginess to it.
And it should be uniform. You don't want chunks in a hot dog.
Exactly, and I think people are off put by the chunks if you have a rustic looking hot dog. It kind of looks like something else.
No one wants rustic bologna. I agree. No one wants like rustic homemade bologna.
What about bologna? Have you tried to make bologna?
It's the same process.
Yeah. Same thing.
It really is bigger. Just larger, And then if we go take it back to the old world, we're talking mortadella from Italy, where you actually literally put fat chunks in there and pistachio, and it shows a little bit of unhomogenized stuff in that ingredient, but it's a hard process, but it's also a great way to use up every part of an animal. And hot dogs get a bad rap about the lips and whatever they used to say, but I mean there's way more good meat in there than those parts, but it uses them.
Let me ask you this question. One of the raps on bologna and hot dogs is that it's processed. That's like an ugly word now, processed food, which signals to me it's got preservatives in it and junky stuff. Yeah. Is that when are you homemaking? You're not putting junky stuff in, right?
You have to put some kind of, you can make an uncured hot dog, and there's a lot of uncured hot dogs out there. You don't have to, but you can do. Generally, I mean, the ways you cure hot dogs are either with the pink salt or with smoke. And you have to generally have to do one or the other if you want to keep it long term, if you want it to have that shelf life, right?
Oh yeah, and then but she's right. There's plenty of process going on here. Plenty of salt, plenty of sugar.
But is process really that bad? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's still meat. Of course, it's got sugar and stuff like that. I guess if you
I don't know what's good for. I don't know what's bad for us anymore. I honestly don't.
I don't either.
Because if you look at hot dogs as being bad, and maybe in general they're probably not as healthy as a carrot. But then you got to look at like barbecue, where it's got all the smoke and all the. Yeah. It's like is it bad? Maybe is it worth it?
Yeah. Or charred.
Right. If it takes a couple years off my life, but it's delicious.
Well, that's what they say, right? Hot dogs, yeah. But.
I mean, it's kind of another case by case thing, don't you think, guys? I mean, because think about a Twinkie or a snack cake is a highly processed food. And we do think of those as maybe bad, but they offer nothing, no nutrient value. Like cured meats, one, you're preserving something that, really doesn't need to be thrown away, if you have excess meat. But two, I mean, there's a lot of protein involved there and a lot of other nutrients that probably... worth saving.
In the debate on hot dogs, I was listening to it one day on one of the news shows, and the guy said, maybe it takes 10 minutes off your life or something, but the 10 minutes it adds to your life when you're enjoying yourself at Boonedogs or you're at a ball game and you have this delicious hot dog, you're happy.
Right, also, and we've been eating sausages from the beginning of time. I mean, I'm thinking like the first hot dog, I didn't really know this, but it's like 500 years old. 1893 was...
a hot dog.
The date in hot dog history.
Where was it invented?
Said wait a second. No, I'm wrong about this. 1987, the city of Frankfurt celebrated the 500th birthday of the hot dog.
Frankfurt, Germany,
this is from 1487.
1487.
The Germans do sausage very well.
Yeah.
But check it out.
A lot of it.
1893 was when it became standard fare in ballparks in America. And that's because the St. Louis bar owner was a German immigrant who also brought the St. Louis Browns baseball team. So he was a German guy that knew hot dogs, and he started selling them at baseball games.
So the two most American foods are hot dogs and hamburgers, and they're both German.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I find it's very funny to me is that the two most American things you can think of are non-American.
Yeah, like ball games and hot dogs just go together.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, to me, when you look at hot dogs from like an economics point of view, you can't find, and maybe it's a good thing or a bad thing, you can't find a cheaper way to get that much protein. than a hot dog.
No doubt.
So if you're on a budget, or a pack of hot dogs is very an economical way to get enough, protein
And-
for
So,
people.
and
guys,
kids
check this
love
out.
them.
Right.
Ostrich point, the wiener, I guess this was based on a dachshund sausage is what they used to call it.
Which
Like the long,
Yeah,
like
a
based
long
on the
dog.
hot dog. And then they said they really couldn't, scream out, they said, get them while they're hot. They're red hot. And that's
Oh,
how
is
the
that how
hot
the
dog
hot
came
came?
out
Yeah.
of the phrase. So they weren't called hot dogs then. They were called...
get them while they're hot.
I think the
Yeah,
word
hot-
wiener comes
They
from
said they
Vienna.
didn't want to spell out dachshund.
Yeah.
Get your hot dachshund.
like a wiener dog and a wiener.
Well, as I understand
Wow.
it, the word wiener is actually derivation of Vienna. So they were called Vienna sausage.
Vienna.
Oh, okay.
Vienna
Yeah,
sausages.
yeah.
My dad loved them.
Right.
I
So
should have
and
read this.
we kind of adopted the word Vienna in a vernacular of wiener.
They still
and that's
have.
why they became called
My
wieners.
dad called them Viennese sausages.
Yeah.
And he'd get them and loved them. And the same kind of category as Spam.
Yeah.
You
Well, it's
know,
all
Spam.
preserved meat.
And they're
It's-
trying to bring Spam back and legitimize it.
In some places, it never went away. I mean,
What's the sausage in northern Kentucky that's kind of the Greta?
Geta.
Geta.
Yeah.
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 Same thing.
And
a lot
that's-
of mixture of sausages.
Yeah, that's more of an oat. I think it's an oat-based sausage, right? I mean, where the filler is oats. So you
Yeah,
look at a
blood,
hot dog.
oatmeal.
Hot dogs are all meat, where things like Geta and Scrapple,
Have
they're
stuff
meat
mixed in.
byproducts with filler.
Yeah.
Geta is very close to haggis in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I mean, all those blood sausages are basically the same. I mean, it's just a way to soak up
yeah, right, right.
and inform the last
I
bit of
love
meat you
that.
have.
Geta's great though.
Geta is great.
Well, it's not that different than meatloaf when you think about it.
No, that's right.
It's
Kind
a
of
bread
mix.
product with a ground meat product to
And
make to go
honestly,
further.
that's a great way to put it. I'm glad you kind of made that reference because we eat this stuff. The things that we think sound disgusting and we think about, we eat them all the time. I mean, there's
We eat 'em all
other
the
things
time.
that are processed
Yeah.
in the same way that we.
If it has oats in it, then it has to be good, right?
Right.
Right.
I agree. I don't know.
Anyway,
To me,
interesting.
I've stopped worrying. Hey, listen, I'm not
Yeah,
getting
just
any
eat-
younger or any
eat-
better looking, so I'm going to enjoy the time I got. If it means
I
eating a
love
hot
it.
dog, I'm eating a
Love
hot
it.
dog.
Yeah. Except you're amazing. You make them.
I
I
that was,
mean,
again, that was a
no
one-time
way
thing.
I would even try that. Hey, I saw this list of things that home cooks need to know how to make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I actually was pretty shocked that they would actually challenge a home cook to do this. First one's easy: roast chicken.
Okay.
Need to know how to roast a chicken. And I just wouldn't do that. I'd go to the grocery store and buy one. But that's me.
But
You
honestly,
all do that, right?
A rotisserie chicken at the grocery store is probably the most economical way to get a cooked chicken in your
is.
house.
It is. I agree.
If you factor in time, I can't argue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bolognese was second on the list.
Yeah. I think that's a good one that even like Bourdain always kind of said as a thing is like if everybody knew how to just make spaghetti marinara, America would be a better place. I mean,
Yeah.
just a nice homemade pot of spaghetti.
By
and
the way,
a family meal.
Yeah.
In my refrigerator, as a result of 8 kids living under my roof and 2 parents, I would find all these spaghetti sauces. I mean, I have all kinds of leftover spaghetti sauces that they didn't use up.
Yeah.
But I was noticing Ragu has an 8-ingredient sauce. I just thought that was interesting that they've gotten that refined. And, I know there are people that like swear by making your own.
Yes.
But it's also easy to buy. But
It's
is
easy.
it more like salad dressing? They say is really bad to buy. Off the
I haven't
shelves.
found any really ones that I would put my name on. In fact, I've always thought about bottling a line of salad dressing because I make some good ones.
Yeah.
But they would never come out good through the manufacturing
yeah.
process.
Because to preserve it, you have to fundamentally
all
change
those
the
things
recipe.
with funny names.
Fundamentally.
Yeah. What else should home cooks? So bolognese is
Okay, third one is weird. Okay, see if you think this is weird. Pad Thai.
Okay, well,
Is
I
it
would
just easy to make?
I would probably think that a home cook would just need to know how to make a stir fried noodle dish, not
Right.
go as far as pad thai.
I agree.
Because I think there's a lot of skill involved in learning how to soak a rice noodle and then putting together a fish sauce deglaze for your pad thai. But people aren't going to do that.
I'm not going to do that.
But they
The
will
name is
take lo
intimidating.
mein noodles and stir fry all their leftover meat and vegetables
Yeah.
and
Right.
run a skillet. That's a
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay, here's the next one. Baked fish.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can see that.
And we really, I wish we'd put it in the menu once a week for American
Yeah.
families.
Hey, I got to tell you what's good. You guys are going to die. Again, having all these kids, 5 of them under the age of 6. Fish sticks.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't had fish sticks in forever. They're so
If you got an air fryer, fish sticks in the air fryer are a game changer. Speaking of, we got to take a quick break.
Yeah, okay.
Because we are going to come back. We're going to talk to Tim from Boonedogs. And if you've not been to Boonedogs, you are missing out. It's a great place to go in the summertime or anytime. But Boonedogs on Old Richmond Road.
And next one is rice, French fries, eggs, braised meat, steak, and an omelet.
Yeah, I agree. You should learn how to make all those things. All right, don't go anywhere. Back in a moment. More Food News and Choose Radio. Hey, welcome back. It's Food News and Choose Radio. If you've been down Old Richmond Road, then you've probably seen Boonedogs. It is an amazing hot dog restaurant. And
I know.
It's right on Old Richmond Road, not too far from Ravens Run. Tim Jones from Boondogs is in here. How long have you guys been out there now?
So this will be our 3rd summer.
Oh, wow.
Third summer.
Yeah, we bought
Yeah.
the property in 2019.
What made you jump into the restaurant business?
Oh, gosh. I think it was just food. We love food.
You love food.
We love food. We like to
And
eat
why
and
the
drink.
concept? Why the concept?
The
and by the way, I want a wand dog one of these days.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good one. Really, the concept was something my wife and I kicked around.
Mm-hmm.
We love creative foods and elevating things you might not
Yeah,
expect.
elevating. That's a great word.
And so, yeah, we love to eat. And when that property came up, it was just a perfect spot for it.
So when you talk about a hot dog, that is something that you can elevate. It's a medium. It's a platform for anything.
Yeah,
as long as you like
that's right.
the crust, so to speak, which happens to be a bun in a hot dog.
There's just nothing
Then
better.
the toppings are just whatever you want. Right?
Well, there's no rules. You got to have a hot dog, and you got to have a bun. Everything
And
else
everything
is up for
else
debate.
is up for
Well, I
grabs.
don't know. We could talk some rules about ketchup, in Chicago and that attitude, right? I don't know what your thoughts
love
are on
that.
that.
Well, I think it's wide open. I think, like bourbon, you drink bourbon how you want. You can eat a hot dog how you want.
How
to.
you
He's
like
a
it.
true businessman.
How
He's
do
not
you
going to exclude anybody.
How do you cook your hot dogs? Do you grill them?
We
Do
grill
you-
'em. We have an
you
open
grill 'em,
flame,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of unique. I mean, of course, everybody likes a grilled hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not the traditional approach. Typically guys will go rollers or steamers or stuff like that. Is it just that's the char kind of flavor you're
Yeah, we
looking
love
for, the outdoor?
We love that extra char, and we look at our restaurant as like the ultimate background cookout or backyard
Sure.
cookout.
Are they like quarter pound ones? Are they
Yeah,
beef
they're-
ones? Or
they're
what are
all
they?
all beef hot dogs, good size hot dogs too.
Do people, I know, like, if I'm doing the grill at my house and you're making hot dogs, about a third of people say burn them. Want them burnt. Is that it? Can you order like that there?
You could, yeah. I mean, they're all cooked to order, so
We'll put it back on the grill for you.
Yeah,
Do you get
exactly.
that too? Like, burn, I want it to look like char.
Oh, yeah.
How many hot dogs do you
Gosh,
sell in the summertime
Oh
on
my
a Sunday
gosh.
afternoon?
Oh my gosh, we go through thousands and thousands of hot dogs. When we looked at our first summer and how many pounds of hot dogs Lexington ate, it was insane. The pounds and pounds of hot dogs.
So I think this is ultimately just a fun, cool place to go.
yeah.
Family, friends, whatever.
And dogs too, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
people
such
bring
a
them.
destination. I've only seen one thing like this, and it's called Hillbilly Hot Dogs. And
Where is that?
those
Is
guys
that
kind of
someplace?
put a bus out in the middle of somewhere, and it kind of has
Sell
the
hot
same
dogs.
draw. They do hot dogs, they geek them out, they have fun with them. Just like this is way nicer though. And
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Hillbilly hot dog. That's in West Virginia. No competition. Yeah, no competition. you
That's-
guys. But no,
I'd rather drive up the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you think, so, okay, when you're thinking of hot dogs, how does this work? So you go, okay, here's a hot dog.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. It's bread and a bun. Now, let's start putting stuff on it. Do you have, we're going to go through 1,000 different things, maybe 4 of them will make the menu. Were there some utter fails along the way? Like that icing in a hot dog does not go well.
Yeah, there's been some fails. But really we look at all aspects, and the two main ingredients are obviously the hot dog and the bun.
Yeah.
And we do have a really great partnership with Deviate that we're starting this summer.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
and
got
they supply your buns?
We're going to start doing custom buns with them. So we're really excited. So that's the two main ingredients, the hot dog and the bun. Then everything else is sort of bonus.
Does anybody ever just say, I want a hot dog with ketchup? I'm going to get a
Sometimes,
fight
yeah.
started here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we get them. We
What do you say about
we
that,
discourage
guys?
it a little bit and say, oh, you should try something. But we're okay. We're, if you want to
Like
do that.
my kids' cookouts next weekend or something.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. Now, what do you say? I mean, I don't think there's who wants to be elitist about food. I've always thought those rules were just kind of silly anyway.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be up in Chicago putting hot dog on,
So-
ketchup on your hot dog.
No,
I had
I'm
a
with you.
conversation with a friend who's more of a picky eater than I am, and he goes, "What you got to understand is, I'm enjoying that. It wasn't a hot dog with ketchup, whatever it was. He goes, I'm enjoying that as much as you're enjoying this." So I was like, all right, when you put it in perspective like that, like, all right, if the whole job is to make people happy, that makes sense.
But I think there is something to the basics. I think, honestly, when I come there, I might do that. I might just order a plain hot dog and then order one that's geeked out because, you want
sure.
to taste that base flavor because I find it very difficult as a chef to construct sandwiches and or things like this, tacos and hot dogs, because it's really fun to say a lot of things that sound really fun, and then it comes out clunky, and then the ingredients are muddy. You really don't taste a lot of the stuff that's on there,
That's
so you
right.
have to be precise in building it, and sometimes less is more.
Sometimes
so
less
whenever
is
I
more.
see a geeked
So
out
one of
menu like
each.
this, I know that they've made these, tasted them, they work, if it's stuck to the
Yeah.
menu. So
Now, what are some of the dogs that you sell? Some of your standards, your best sellers?
One of our best sellers is the pimento dog. And it
Pimento
was,
dog.
we had the Bloomberg top 13 hot dogs in the country last summer, and it was huge. It was great.
Really?
And, yeah, it's homemade. We make all of our pimento cheese in house, bacon, fried green tomatoes,
Oh, no.
pickled red onions.
You got me.
So it's really unique. Obviously, in Kentucky, we do a hot brown dog. It's really, really good. It has all the ingredients
All the
you would
fixins,
expect.
yeah.
Yep.
No, it looks like we got, all right, so you got chorizo, you got a bratwurst, Link, if you want it. You've got an Italian sausage, and you got
He's
a
got a
Beyond
wand
sausage.
dog.
So,
Don't forget
I mean,
wand dog.
There's also chicken tenders, too, so
Yeah.
it's not like you're pigeonholed right into a hot dog every
No,
time.
if you want to come out, we obviously hot dogs and hamburgers. We have a
You
salad.
do have
Yeah,
hamburgers.
you got
We've got
salads.
fried bologna that's to die for. It's huge.
Fried bologna?
Big, giant
I'm
fried
there.
Okay,
bologna
let me ask you
sandwich.
this.
I'm
While we're
there.
So there's
talking-
not like there's beef, there's chicken, there's pork, there's lamb, and there's bologna. It's its own
Yeah.
meat.
Let
It
me
is.
ask you this.
It
While,
is.
while we're talking about, hot dogs and, how to do what's acceptable and what's not, there's a lot of debates about hot dogs. Is a hot dog a sandwich? There's a lot of debate as to whether a hot dog's a
Is
sandwich.
it taco?
I don't know. Technically, I mean, if a sub is a sandwich, I kind of got to think a hot dog's a sandwich because they open.
Yeah,
but
because it's like bread and yeah.
Taco fruit.
is bologna just a hot dog pancake?
Ooh.
Well, you really
hot
is-
dog pancake.
It's a flat
well,
hot dog.
Is a
because
bologna
it
just a
has
flat hot dog?
similar stuff.
Or
interesting.
is it,
right?
is it a
Interesting.
thinly sliced, very large hot dog?
That's what I'm saying.
And you could roll it up to be a
Like if
hot
you
dog.
look at a big piece of bologna, that kind of resembles just a big hot dog, right?
It doesn't have the
flat
snap.
one.
It doesn't have the casing.
have the-
Yeah,
That's-
there could be some differences there too, but
But
yeah,
still,
that's interesting.
do you do your bologna on a bun?
We do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
kind of roll it up, or
No, on a regular hamburger.
oh, it's a bun.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's 30
I got
pounds
you.
big.
I got to do that. That
All right.
sounds so good.
So I'm driving down the road, beautiful drive out there. I'm starving. It's Sunday afternoon. They got the kids after church like that. What am I getting? What's your favorite? What's the one I'm gonna order?
Yeah, I think one of the most unique ones is the Hambassador, and then
Hambassador.
it's a Hambassador. It's really great. I think, Chef, that would be something you would be interested in.
I love I love the way you think, because you're right. So bacon jam, country ham, pickled red onion, and mustard.
Yeah.
That's on a hot dog too, right? So it's
Oh,
It's
man.
a full meal.
That
If
is
I,
so
by the
good.
way, for anyone who's going to have a hot dog cookout this summer, not that obviously go see Boonedogs,
Yeah.
but if you're going to cook a hot dog at home, can I recommend take some red onion or even white onion, put it in a jar, slice it thin, put it in a jar of vinegar, forget about it in the fridge for a week, let it go. There's something so tasty about a pickled onion on a hot dog. It cuts right through the fat. The acid cuts through the fat. It's amazing. And it's
Do
so
you
easy to
do
at
that?
home.
You
We
do
do.
one of those?
We
Okay.
do. We use
Fancy relish.
Yeah, we use
Fancy
pickled
relish.
onions on a lot of our products. It's great with mustard, so it's like
Yes.
that's kind of the core.
It really makes
Okay.
it pop. Yeah.
It does.
Tell us where you are, because I know you're close to Raven Run,
We are.
and that's
We're
one of your
on,
big marketing.
It is. It's a big part of us. We're on Old Richmond Road, on the corner of Old Richmond Road and Jack's Creek. And Jack's Creek, where you turn to go to Raven Run. So we're only a few minutes from Raven Run. So you go out for the day, come over and have a cold beer and a hot dog with family.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
And-
Check it out. Ranch dog, crispy potatoes, creamy ranch slaw, and scallions.
Don't
That-
forget the wand dog. It has
Yeah, that's a
jalapenos
special.
on it.
Which
Yeah.
one now?
It's
Jalap-
a special this month. So one thing we do is we have a build your own menu. So you can walk in, order what meat you want, and then put whatever toppings you want. Well, now every month our employees build their own, and we promote what they
and
like.
that's what
And
Juan has
Juan is
done.
our kitchen manager, extremely talented. And so this month is the Juan dog, and that's his. That's
It has jalapenos on it.
Yeah, it's a
and-
chorizo, jalapenos, white cheddar. That's fantastic.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let me ask a question. From the moment you guys decide we want to do this, we're going to open this restaurant, to the moment the doors open, probably a lot of time to set up, pick menu, that's a... How many hot dogs do you have to eat to pick the hot dog you're going to sell, then pick how it's going to taste? I mean, I imagine
Taste testing.
100?
Yeah.
Well, I think what you don't realize is there's a lot of variation in just the hot dog. So we
Right.
went through a lot of the hot dogs.
Really?
A lot of our sausages.
lot out there, guys.
There's a lot. And our sausage, we have a sausage sampler too. So you can order a sausage sampler and that rotates. We could have wild boar on it, different wild game
wow.
meats and stuff like that.
Wow.
So that's a big part of our menu that's not like a core, but if you want to taste some really
Now,
interesting
are you up in
meats.
the winter?
We are. We
Okay.
are. We're open year round, but we're only open Wednesday through Sunday
in the winter time. Yeah.
all year round.
Oh.
We close Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
And then we may close for like 2 weeks around the holidays.
Right. Do you have good business? I mean,
It's slower.
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely a destination. We have a acre of green space, so all the kids can come out and run around and play.
So that
we have
was-
live
I wish I'd
music.
known about
That
this.
was a huge refuge during pandemic. I mean,
Yes.
you guys opened in 2019, that hit, and you were like one of the places that we could go. you know?
Yeah, we had we spread out people because we actually built it through COVID. And
You are a
we
brave
started
man.
before COVID. We built it out through COVID, but it helped us make some decisions based on giving people
Well,
enough room.
if you can survive through those years and just start up, you are doing very well.
thank
Is there a certain, I don't want to say an advantage, but you if you had a restaurant before COVID, you know how the industry always ran. And then COVID happened and you had to pivot real fast. But if your restaurant kind of opened in the middle of that time, then it's kind of a blank slate, right? Is there maybe
true.
a certain advantage to that?
Might be.
The one thing we did change a few things when that hit. We had the garage doors that we opened up, and we spread out our tables a lot more than we expected to do it outside. We have a walk-up window to the bar, and that was because of COVID. We wouldn't have done that without COVID. 'cause
This
we
was a
thought-
gas station, right?
Yeah,
before.
but we remodeled the whole thing and new doors. It wasn't a gas station; it was a convenience store. But we
Convenience
put in the garage doors.
Okay.
But at the bar, you can walk up and order
Right.
and get your drinks and go out and sit. So that was really helpful.
But that's still
during
good
COVID.
whether there's COVID or not. It's nice that there's just a walk up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still really great in the summertime. We open them up, go to the bar, get a drink.
How fun.
Yeah.
Isn't there a certain I don't know if the word's romanticism, a certain about a walk up hot dog place where you can get a hot dog and a beer,
yeah.
and also the fact that I like restaurants that close for the winter or for a couple weeks because it reminds you these are just it's people.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
not these are just people.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna take 2 weeks off. The restaurant's gonna close and take vacation. I
They
like
have things to do.
Yeah, I kind of like
You
that.
you own other businesses, and this is your only restaurant.
It is.
Are you going to have more restaurants? Are you so enamored with the business that you?
No,
will-
we really love this concept, and we're testing it out and
Okay.
tweaking and pivoting as we need to and understanding because it is our first one. But we're learning some really
some
key
stuff you need to know.
pieces. Yeah.
How did it get its name? Boonedogs.
Boonedogs. So actually, it was just my partner and I, Hill Boone and his family and my family, and it was the first name I threw out after I basically pitched the idea of here's what we need to do at this location, and then they agreed. They loved the concept, and I said, when we going to open Boonedogs?
Kind of in the boonies, right?
Yeah, and we're kind of out in the boondocks, kind of,
That's
but
what I thought the name
Yeah.
came from. I 100%
no,
guessed his name.
it's my partner's last name.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 And it was the
I was totally
yeah, I
it was like out
completely
there.
thought
Yeah,
But it
no,
has a
no,
double
no.
meaning. I
It
love
worked out
that.
both ways.
Oh, and then you picked out Boonesboro Road.
Exactly.
I didn't think of that.
Oh yeah, I
so
didn't think about
Boone,
that.
Boone is a name that's very synonymous for
You
that
got
area.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the first name we threw out, and we never discussed
and it
another
worked
name.
out. Yeah.
Never even thought of another name.
It's so cool.
No, I think it is important, because you're driving out there on a weekend. You're having a beverage, right? I mean, you guys have beer and cider, but also I didn't realize this. You guys have a full cocktail menu here.
We do.
I mean, so
We rotating
old fashioned,
cocktails,
Kentucky
yeah.
Mules, New York Sour. I mean, it's got a margarita, so everything you're going to want is going to be out there.
Yeah, and we do $5 old fashions all day, every day,
That's
and they
awesome.
crush,
I
and they're
bet they
really
do.
good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to ask about hot dog fails.
Okay.
All right, because if you're testing out a lot of recipes,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going to pick 15 things for that make the menu, you're going to have to try 100 things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
What was the idea? Like, what did you put on a hot dog? And you thought this could be pretty good, and it was not. Was there one? I'll tell you one that I had once. That did
Peanut
not
butter,
hit.
maybe?
I had a
actually pretty
cream
good.
cheese and jelly hot dog.
Okay.
And a friend of
Not
mine's like,
good.
you got to try this. It did not work.
Not.
Yeah, I
But-
think.
but
all
peanut
the-
butter is?
Yeah, peanut butter's pretty good on one.
Yeah.
We've tried it all, and I think there is no failures. There's only learnings. But some of the stuff didn't make the cut. But I don't want to throw them out there yet because we might tweak them and make them work.
Make them
Peanut
better.
butter's good, though.
It is.
I think there's
Peanut butter is good.
hope in the concept of like opening up a Twinkie and using that as the bun, or like kind of
Yeah.
redoing it that way.
Like some places do
When you
a
go to sweet-
hamburger on a donut.
Sort of sweet
Yeah.
and serious.
Twinkie dogs,
yeah.
right?
Twinkie dogs.
Twinkie dogs.
Or a donut dog where you use a Long John. Slice it like a donut.
Like an
bun.
eclair.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We could do that. Little dessert dog.
Yeah.
See, now you got me going. Put them on apple fritters, cream horn.
Do the two of you want to patent those ideas?
I know.
Chef, do you want to
Keep
patent
going,
your
guys.
idea?
Keep going. Give us some ideas. I think that is like the DNA of Boondogs. Though.
You could
Trying
name
to-
it the Twitch dog and the Jeremy
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
like
know?
that. That's good.
I like that because you gotta try it before
gotta
you know.
be good, though,
you don't know if
first.
it's
You gotta-
right.
you gotta make it good.
You get a Long John, you slice it down the middle like a bun, or like you say, you just shove it in the hole where you usually put the jelly. Just fire
There's
it
a
in
lot
there.
of names for that one.
I'm going to come up with one too because I want a Sylvia dog too.
Yeah, that'd be good. We do
Yeah.
Sylvia Dog, but I think everything you're saying is the DNA of Boondogs is getting really creative with what you think is maybe a bottom of the menu item and
Yeah.
and elevating
make
that
it
and
very
making it
nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Why do we think of hot dogs as not an upper echelon food? I mean, I know it's been around forever, and it's a sausage, and but in other countries, the sausage is like held
Yeah,
with
it is a big
reverence.
deal.
You go to Germany or Austria, the sausage
You just don't
is
think
reverence.
of hot dogs as sausages here. You just think of them as something you buy for your kids to eat at the picnic.
I think
and
that
that's kind of
sausages
interesting.
probably had the same revere in this country until we just started mass producing agriculture, and meat became a center of the plate item. Like in other countries throughout history, we had to scrape and make sausages, and I just think we're spoiled over here.
I guess so.
That's really.
I don't think.
Well, we're here to change your mind about
Good.
what a hot dog should be.
Because I don't
That's
think
what we're
there's any more
trying to
perfect
do.
food. I think the hot dog is like the classic. It's the
I love that
perfect-
tagline, what a hot dog should be.
Yeah, we are. We're trying to change people's minds of what they should expect out of a good hot dog, whether it's plain or loaded up with all these ingredients.
Yeah, you can have it any
That's
way.
great.
Yeah.
Well, Tim from Boondogs, tell people how to find it. They want to find Boondogs. They want to go out there. What's the best way?
And do we
online
need
or in
reservations? So
Yeah,
that's
so
no.
we're actually doing reservations for 20 or more because we do
Okay.
have a lot of
I bet
space.
you
So
do.
you can call.
And probably a lot of people.
We do. We do 30 people.
A lot of people go out there for the festive time.
Absolutely. Have live music Friday and Saturday nights. So, yeah, Instagram, Facebook. It's easy to find us. Boondogs Lex is our handles there.
And up Old Richmond Road, you can
yeah.
kind of take aphids, or you can just go up Old Richmond Road.
Yeah, come right out of town.
How
up
far
Old
is it from
Richmond
the
Road.
river? From the river
We're
scene?
a few miles. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's still down the road, like 5 miles or something like that.
But
So,
still in the same.
yeah, we're
vicinity.
easy access off the interstate, actually.
Yeah, it's not far off Richmond Road, not Old, but once you get on Old Richmond Road, it's not that
No,
far
it's
in.
not. A few more miles.
Yeah. So go check it out, Boondogs, and find them online. Boondogslex.com is the website.
that's great.
And you can find them on Instagram and everything else. And submit your ideas. If you got an
Love
idea,
it. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no, like you said, there's no failures.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if one more
We'll
thing,
submit our ideas if you'll give our
Please.
names to these dogs.
Yeah, we will. We do that. We actually will ask our customers, what's their favorite build your own and things like that. But we actually have on the site, we're launching, our third annual hot dog eating contest
Oh my
is on
gosh!
National Hot Dog Day. And
Which
it's
is?
July 19th. And we do it every year, and it is a blast. And it's our foot-long hot dogs.
Do you think you come back on the show and talk?
Yeah,
about
you ought to
that?
Yeah,
talk
I'd love
about
to.
it.
Okay, I got to ask, is it a volume or a speed contest?
Volume. Unless it's a
Tell us the
tiebreaker.
winner of how
Yeah,
many
we
were
gotta,
able
like,
to
we-
in the
we got
past,
winners.
last year.
So our footlongs are like 16-inch hot dogs, so they're
Okay.
huge. So one guy, it's usually like 10 minutes, and it's less than you think, but it's like 5.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
It's over 5 feet of hot dogs.
Yeah. Wow.
Whoa.
That's yeah. That's a lot of hot dog.
Yeah,
Man.
it's really fun, and we give away a lot of prizes, and we have music, and it'll be a big deal this year in the middle
How many
of July.
contestants do you typically
Up
have?
to 20, but we're expecting a lot more this year because we're promoting.
And as many people want to participate
yeah,
as can.
it's $10. I tell everybody it's cheaper than buying hot dogs.
It really is.
It's like come in and eat
Yeah.
5 hot
Come in
dogs.
and eat.
I hope there's just one guy who just enters, eats one hot dog, and he's done.
I've had it. And it's the best, and I
Yeah.
appreciate him so much. That person
Yeah,
that
you
does
give him
it.
the support.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Can I get some mustard, please?"
I just want to enjoy this.
I got nothing on this, but I'm participating.
Exactly.
I love his heart.
Well,
Yeah.
Tim from Boondogs, go check it out. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
Yeah,
me.
appreciate
Back
it.
in a moment.
thank you so
Food News and Cheese Radio.